let's take a look at the trade entry section. So you can either enter by bot settings or user trigger. Bot settings are all these settings here. User trigger will reduce the options to these and will place the bot here to be manually launched by clicking the green arrow. So we're going to continue looking at all the bot settings. Position sizing, we can do either quantity, which is the exact quantity of bots or trades you want to launch. Percent would be a percent of your whatever account balance you are allocating to trading. And leverage. You can use a number to indicate how much leverage you want to trade with. So usually the way to determine leverage is you take something like SPX, you take the notional value and divide by your net liquid value, and that will give you the leverage number. And to see those settings, we go to username, manage linked brokerages, and down here you will see account percentage for leverage, and also bots max buying power used. So depending on what you set this as, when your buying power reaches this threshold, no additional trades will go on until more buying power is available. Auto size down. Let's say you were placing a trade, but you are out of buying power and you're submitting a 5-lot order. Auto size down will reduce the amount of contracts being submitted for you automatically, so you're within your buying power threshold. Entry time window is simply selecting what time you want the window you'd like your trades to be going on. So, if you did like 9, right at open to 10, so say 10:10. This is the time frame that the bot will try to place the trade. Now it's important to note that let's say you put a trade on and it stops out, and you have, well, we're going to get to this in a second, but if you have a setting, there could be a scenario where your trade is relaunched, or let's say you manually closed a trade in Thinkorswim and you're still within your entry window. There could be a possibility that the trade will reopen automatically. So it's typically good for most trades to keep a tight trade window. So I usually do like within 5 minutes. If I'm putting verticals on, I want it to try for 5 minutes, and then if it doesn't go through, then just stop trying. But there are some trades where maybe you want this entry window to be open all day, and you're doing sequential trading or tranche trading. So there's a little bit to think about, but the key point is just be aware that if you manually close a trade on your broker and you're still within that entry time window, you could see the trade go back on. So just be cognizant of that. Days of the week to enter. Simply choose what days you'd like the trades to go on. Open if no positions or staggered days. So this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the entry time window. So if you choose no position, the trade will only go on if there's no current position on. But let's say you're trading calendars, where you're doing 5 DTE trades or 7 DTE trades, and you want these trades going on every day. Well, obviously no position is not going to work because there's a position on. So that's where you'd use staggered days. And staggered days is basically just saying what interval you want these trades to go on. So let's say every day you're putting on a new calendar or a longer DTE trade. You would just say, every day, interval of 1, I want this trade to go on. And if you want to do it every week, like let's say every Wednesday, you can just choose Wednesday over here, and just for extra safety, you could put, entry day interval 7 days. Entry speed, we have turbo, fast, normal, slow, and turtle. So you can come here to the tooltip. It'll tell you exactly how these settings are configured. And sequential entry delay. So let's say a trade close, let's say you are doing sequential trading, but you want, something stops out, you don't necessarily want it to open again right away. This is where you can put a delay in on how long you want the platform to wait before putting your next trade on. And you can go all the way up to an hour. Well, that is the trade entry section, and we will see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.